Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the three best traffic sources to get high ticket clients from who have money and are ready to buy your coaching services and work with you. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to get right into it. The first one is Facebook ads. Now, why is Facebook ads the best traffic source and why do I recommend it? So I've spent about, on average, $1 million plus per year on Facebook ads, okay? And the nice thing about Facebook ads that every other traffic source has, that doesn't have, is Facebook has the best data on your ideal client. Because remember, Facebook's been around a really long time. And so because of that, they've compiled tons of data over the years about people who are clicking and liking stuff and making comments and all that stuff. And it is super easy to use if you're just getting started and you can get traffic right now, right? You turn your ads on and you get traffic. You know what I mean? You don't have to rank your site on Google for search engine traffic, anything like that. It's immediate and you can start on a small budget. I'll come back to that more in a minute. But I've spent millions now on Facebook ads over the years getting clients from my coaching business, and it's a tremendous way to get clients. Now, the second way that I'm going to talk about is what we call a retargeting audience, okay? So have you ever seen one of those ads, maybe on Facebook or follow you all over the internet? Maybe you went to Amazon one day and you found some shoes, okay? And you're like, now all of a sudden, you see these shoe ads everywhere. They're all over the place. They're on Facebook every time you see this Amazon shoe ad, and then you go anywhere. You go to your favorite news site and there's an ad for it. It's following you everywhere. That's called a retargeting or a remarketing ad. And why are they so powerful? Well, think about it for a second. The reason they're so powerful is because you need more than one chance to catch somebody's attention and bring them into your world, especially in the coaching space, right? Because you can't expect somebody to just see something once and be like, oh, hey, how can I just give you thousands of dollars for your coaching services, right? And that's what a lot of coaches do. They're kind of one and done. They run an ad to a page and go, well, man, nobody booked a call. I guess they're not the right fit, or this won't work, or whatever. Or they just put out an email or just generic things like that. So you need a number of touch points. And one of the easiest ones to do is retargeting or remarketing. So how's it work? So let's say, for example, on Facebook, you run an ad, $10 a day. You start small just to kind of get it going, get some momentum going, and people hit your website. And say on that website, you're going to register them for maybe a webinar, maybe an ebook, something like that, something simple, okay? Now, two things are going to happen. The first thing that's going to happen is a whole bunch of them, probably 75%, won't do anything. They'll see the page and they're going to leave, right? We'll come back to them in a second. The second group is going to register. And that second group, for the most part, probably going to do nothing, right? Maybe 10, 20% of them, but that still leaves 80% of those people who are probably not even going to download your ebook, maybe not show up for your webinar, that kind of stuff, right? So you've got both sides of a bunch of people who hit it and probably 70, 80% who didn't take action. And then the people who do register or give you their name, email, phone number, whatever it is, probably there, you're going to have 70, 80% of those people, they're not going to take action either. So what are you going to do? You need to leverage some sort of strategy to get both these people engaged. So that's where retargeting and remarketing comes in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create an ad now let me just back up. Facebook, for example, and this is an example of Facebook, is capturing their information and they're pixeling them. So it's meaning they're tracking them for you in Facebook's site and in Facebook's world, okay? So they're tracking them. So you can go in and you can create an ad and target only the audience who didn't give you their name and email, okay? So now we have a small audience, because remember, that's only all the people who've hit your website. So say over a period of a week or two, it's like 100 people, all right? So 100 people hit your website. Well, 20 of those registered, which leaves 80 who didn't. Now that audience of 80, what you can do is run a remarketing ad just to those 80 people. That's kind of small, but for the sake of this example, you'd want to have it a bit bigger to give more room for the artificial intelligence to move around and find them and stuff like that. But for the sake of this conversation, let's just say it's 80, okay? So then you're going to run a simple ad to them that maybe gives them a second chance to look at you're going to have maybe a little bit of a different ad that they're going to look at, and you're going to run it to them and be like, hey, did life get in the way? I've got this thing, you should register for it. Or maybe you've got something else to give them. Maybe you've got a different webinar, a different ebook, maybe your Facebook group, and you can send them that ad. And here's the cool thing about your retargeting remarketing audience. It's super cheap. You can't really spend a lot of money anyway. So it's realistically, if you're going to spend, say, $10 a day, the most you're probably going to spend on a retargeting ad is probably $1, okay, a day. Not very much, because if you spend too much money, you're going to blow that audience up. What does that mean? You're just going to spend so much money and they're going to see your ad 60 times. They're going to be like, and it's not going to work. So it's going to be on a small budget, and then you're going to get them to register, right? And then the people who have registered, same thing there. You can keep them engaged by sending them an ad saying, hey, did you get the replay of the webinar? Here it is. Did you book a call for a discovery call? Did you read the ebook? Did you sign up for my Facebook group? That kind of thing. And so the goal there is to keep them engaged. Again, this is automated. You run it for $1 a day and it just runs, right? You can't do anything. You just got to let it run and do what it's supposed to do. So it's an incredibly simple way. And the nice thing is it's a super low budget. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Like I said, maybe realistically 10%, 5%. I mean, for example, on any given day, if we've got, say, $3,000, $4,000 in ad spend that we're spending internally for us, we might spend $100 a day. Okay, so that's 3% of our daily traffic budget. So you don't have to spend a lot of money, and it's easy to do. They just run and they just run and they just run. So this way you're getting the people, it's like a strainer, right? If you have this strainer with your spaghetti in it and all that water's coming out, we want to stop that. So when you're running an ad, potentially, we want to plug the holes and make sure that that ad gets you as much return on investment as possible. So we're going to run retargeting ads. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is small budget Facebook ads. Why? You start it right away. Facebook has an incredible amount of data on your audience because it's been built up over the years, right? So they've got all the kinds of data, and most coaching niches that I've seen, over my 20 years of doing this business, are very qualified, are on Facebook, and Facebook's really good at finding those people because they know who they are, right? So that's the first thing you can start on a small budget. The second thing, like we said, is the retargeting. The third thing is your email list. Now, this is by far the best place to get more clients that the majority of coaches don't use because they don't understand it. They don't see how it's working. So when somebody's going to register for your stuff, say off your Facebook ad or off your retargeting, or maybe they just find your site and give you their name and email in exchange for getting on your newsletter and stuff like that, right? It's very basic stuff. Here's what you need to realize. Let's take a golf example, okay? If Facebook or ads in any capacity or organic social media marketing, we're going to say that that's like on a golf course, say it's a 300-yard, 400-yard hole, right? The hole number 8 type thing. And we got to tee off. That's like your ad. You got to hit it and it goes, right? And what a lot of coaches are doing is they're looking for a hole-in-one on every hole. Okay, here's what they're basically doing. They're basically lining up, going like, I got one shot. I got this driver. I'm going to hit it as hard as I can. And they're going to see my ad. They're going to click on my ad. And then they're going to want to buy my coaching at my premium price. That's like a hole-in-one. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. It's really hard to do. And why would you, right? You're just putting yourself at a place of failing. Like, you can't do that. So what this way does is you hit the ball as far as you can go, okay? But it doesn't have to be that far because guess what? We're in the middle of the fairway. The retargeting ad, what does that do? pushes it a little further down the road, okay, down the hole, right, for example. And then the email list is like having them on the green a foot away from the hole. Because guess what? They're now on your email list. And what you want to do is you need to realize if you're good, we have a lot of coaching clients who get more calls booked off their email follow-ups than they do any of their webinar or anything like that, okay? Why? Because they're right there. And so we send them a daily email talking about the symptoms that they're having in relation to the problems that you're helping them with. And guess what that gives us? Watch this. When you send somebody and you drive them to your site for your webinar, your ebook, or whatever, maybe even your Facebook group, okay? You got one chance, okay? They read the ebook or download it and read it, right? Sign up for your webinar and watch it immediately, because the problem is in your Facebook group, you get them into your Facebook group, what's the problem there? Well, the likelihood of them seeing your post is about maybe 5%. So it's really hard to engage with them unless you have thousands in the group, okay? This is where email comes in, okay? Every day they get an email going, hey, are you struggling with this issue? Are you having anxiety from this? Are you having this? And every day we connect with them with a symptom, an email of what they're dealing with. And guess what? Over a period of a month, that's 30 times we get to connect with them. We're not pitching them anything. We're just saying, are you having this struggle? Here's what it means. Here's how we can help. Book a call. If they're not having the struggle, they're not even going to look at the email. They don't even care. They're like, oh, no, it's not my problem. And so what a lot of marketers do is they're constantly emailing people about their latest pitch, and I've only got 5 calls left. You better book now. That kind of stuff. You don't do any of that. Just simple, elegant, focus on connecting with the problem they're having in their head. Meet them where they're at, and then guide them through to show them, hey, that's okay. Let's book a call and see if we can help, okay? And what you will find is that's an incredible way to get more calls booked. And remember, you're only a foot away from the hole. You just tap it in, and then you get the call booked, right? Versus just driving it 300, 400 yards every time, hoping somebody get that hole in one. That's horrible. So we want to connect all 3 of those using that golf course analogy so that we can lessen the likelihood of failure. And in terms of wasting money, right, on the ads, and for you to get more people booked for a smaller budget and have better quality calls, right? So I would love it just in the chat. Which one of them are you going to focus on, and which one are you most interested in? Second of all, click like on this video. And the final thing is, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Somewhere should be a subscribe button here so you can get all the other videos that I have. I was going to say emails, but all the other videos I have for you. All right, next video coming up, and you're going to see at the end of this, is why getting coaching clients from social media, free social media, is the most expensive way to do it. So that's coming up next. Make sure you watch that video so that you don't make the mistake the vast majority of other coaches are making, and focus on only free social media because it's the most expensive way, even though it's free. I'm going to show you why and what to do instead. Take care.